didn't really enjoy it that much. But let's get into the monsters, okay? So the Death Angels are a very large, fast-moving, and terrifyingly strong monster standing at around 8 to 9 feet tall with humanoid structure. I think they're great looking also. I think they're freaky as frick. And I like the way its head splays out, kind of like the Stranger Things Demogorgon, or whatever the frick it's called. I only watched the first season, which maybe they stole it from a little bit. I don't know. They are also almost completely armored with an exoskeleton that is virtually invulnerable to traditional weapons, so very hard to kill, and the creatures also have no eyes. Bonus, so they rely entirely on sound to detect their prey. And they have elaborate plates that open up to reveal hypersensitive, fleshy inner ear structure, which acts like a super amplifier for sound, which is dope. So they basically hunt by sound, and they can detect like the faintest sound, which is like not super prevalent throughout the movies. It's not like linear. Sometimes like somebody can drop a coin and then it comes and kills them, or like they can go achoo and it'll kill them, or you can like load off a shotgun and like nothing will happen. Like throughout the movies, it's kind of all over the place. But basically, you can't make sound, which is really hard. Like that's really hard to live. And I mean, we got to talk about their vulnerabilities too, which is that their weakness is really, really loud, high frequency sound. So that's something you could do. So it's either you can't make any sound, or you need to be blaring the most horrifically loud, high frequency sound so they don't eat you. But since it opens up their little flappy metal panel things or whatever, you can shoot him and that kills him. It seems like a lot of effort, and it doesn't seem very good for you, that is. So that's our first one. It's not looking good for the competitor, but the competitor is the Predator. All right, that rhymed. That's dope. So for the Predator, for those of you who don't know, I can't fucking speak today. For those of you who don't know, is a 1987 film, and it's a classic sci-fi horror film directed by John McTiernan, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. You probably know him from being the previous governor of California. I'll never understand that. And the film follows a team of elite military commandos led by Dutch, which is Schwarzenegger, who are sent on a rescue mission into the dense jungles of Central America. However, they soon realize that they are being hunted by an unseen, highly advanced alien creature known as the Predator that stalks and kills them one by one for sport. As the soldiers are picked off, Dutch must use all of his skills to survive and outwit this formidable extraterrestrial foe. Dope movie. First movie again, really good. Other movies, they just don't need to make sequels all the time, you know? We got Alien vs. Predator 2, which is just kind of silly. I thought I liked it the first time I watched it. Rewatched it, I was like, we'll get into Alien 2, don't worry about it. But anyway, let's take a look into the monster, the Predator. So the Predator, also called the Yautja, I always say it wrong, is one of the most iconic movie monsters ever created, and its blend of advanced technology with primal hunting instincts make it a fascinating antagonist. So it's a very physically imposing and fearsome extraterrestrial hunter with several distinct features that set it apart from typical movie monsters. We got size and physique. Okay, this guy's standing at 7 feet tall. All right, so a little bit shorter than our competitor, the Death Angel, okay? But the Predator's also extremely muscular and athletic. Unlike, well, I mean, I guess the Death Angel's like athletic, but it's kind of lanky. It's a little lanky looking, okay? And the Predators are built like warriors. They have a hulking frame that is covered in reptilian scaly skin, and it is physically much stronger than humans, very similar to the Death Angel. See how I paired them so nicely? You're welcome. And they also have face and mandibles. So beneath its biohelmet, the Predator's face is one of the most memorable and terrifying aspects of its design. So cool. And then the Predator is also like technologically advanced, unlike the Death Angels, which are more like just animals, basically, where the Predators are more like humans, in which they could develop technology and everything. So they have advanced armor that not only protects them, but also enhances its abilities to hunt. It is also equipped with a biomask, which includes several vision modes, most famously the thermal imaging, which is heat vision. I thought it was so cool the first time I watched that movie. I was like, that's fucking crazy, dude. What the you can never hide from these guys. And they're fucking invisible, which is great. Like, you can see the Death Angel at least, you know? I mean, they're pretty fast. It's hard to see them, but I don't know. It's not looking good. But anyway, the Predator's able to track prey by body heat. So basically, but But, big but, the Predator is far from a mindless killer like the Death Angels, okay? It's intelligent. I don't know why I keep saying okay. It's a thing for this video, I guess. Okay. But it's a very ritualistic creature driven by the thrill of the hunt. And the Predator hunts sentient beings, not out of necessity necessarily, but truly only for sport and challenge, which is kind of baller. They're just bored and they're like, let's just go kill some sentient beings that are worthy. They only kill things that are worthy of prey for them. That they have to be like armed individuals or those capable of fighting back. They won't just kill somebody that's just, you know, standing on a crosswalk with a baby or something. So when they stroll upon an elite team of soldiers, they test the combat abilities of the Predators. And like I was mentioning before, they also have cloaking technology. So they become nearly invisible by using a cloaking device. So it's very hard to clock them. Not to mention they have plasma casters, wrist blades, smart distance spears, self-destructive devices, etc. They got weapons too. So I'm gonna say, since they're smarter, they're not like an animal. I'm just like, I don't know, if you were to put me up against A Quiet Place and Predator, and the Predator doesn't really have any weaknesses either. Yeah, in terms of weaknesses, there's not a lot. It's really hard to kill a Predator. They're just like, they're geared up, man. So I'm gonna have to move forward our little Predator guy. Woo! All right, see you, Death Angels. And that brings us to Alien. All right, we got the Aliens. One of my favorite alien creature type creature. Does that make sense? I love the Alien movies. I love Sigourney Weaver. I have a crush on her. Alien was a movie that was released in 1979, directed by Ridley Scott, and it is a landmark in sci-fi horror. The film follows the crew of a commercial spaceship, Nostromo, who, while on their way back to Earth, intercepted a distress signal from a distant planet. Did I say planet? I'm struggling today. They investigate and discover an abandoned alien spacecraft where one of the crew members, Kane, is attacked by a parasitic alien organism. And obviously Sigourney Weaver's in this as well as a badass main character. And after returning to the ship, a deadly extraterrestrial creature is unleashed in the best way possible. Chest burster. And the crew must fight for survival as the alien hunts them down one by one. It's so fun. I also love the video game. But the alien, otherwise known as a xenomorph, is a creature in Alien, obviously, that is an extraterrestrial predator that evolves through a horrifying life cycle, to say the least. It is one of the most iconic monsters in film history, if I do say so myself, characterized by its terrifying design, relentless pursuit of prey, and deadly abilities. So let's go through its life cycle first. First, we got the egg stage, okay? First form of the xenomorph is the egg, laid by the queen alien, although no queen is shown in Alien, the first movie. This is expanded upon in later films. I actually do really like the prequels and everything, Prometheus and Covenant, and then Alien, and the other aliens are, they're all right. They're okay. But anyway, the eggs are leathery, organic eggs that are often found in nests that contain the next stage of the creature inside. And the eggs react when somebody comes near it, opening to release the next phase of the alien's development, which is the face hugger, this weird vagine like crab thing that's awful and scary. And I guess it's also like it's very provocative. The facehugger's very provocative. So anyway, when one of the eggs opens, facehugger emerges and like in a spider-like organism that attaches to the face of the host and wrapping its tail around its victim next to paralyze and suffocate them while it implants an embryo inside the host's chest. And then once it implants that embryo, then comes the next phase, which is the chest burster, which is so awesome. I love that scene where it goes out. It's so cool. It scared the shit out of me as a child and today. But after that short incubation period, and though the chest burster is initially small and vulnerable, it grows extremely quickly into the adult xenomorph. And then we have the adult xenomorph. And the xenomorph is a very tall, I'm not sure how tall, I'm gonna say at least 8 to 9 feet. I don't know. Once it's fully grown, at least the queen is for sure. But it has a biomechanical looking monster with long, sleek head, a dark exoskeleton body, and a long tail that it uses for balance and as a weapon. And the xenomorph is highly, highly evolved and a very dangerous predator, equipped with several abilities and traits that make it nearly impossible to fight. Like, actually, it's literally impossible to fight, pretty much. Even in the movies, I'm like, really? And it also like waits for them to fight sometimes. But anyway, it's got strength and speed like no other. It's got acid blood, so even if you do injure it, it'll just melt your goddamn face off. It's got the inner jaw, the little inner monster that's adorable, but it plunges through people's faces a lot, or chests.